What's up, guys? Welcome back to True Sound. I'm Weezna. Today, I have a plugin that quite honestly is going to change my mind about using analog gear. And it's the ControlHub from STL Tones. They have created something that I have never seen before and is truly unique to the analog and plugin world. So just like you would capture a guitar profile where you would put a pedal in front of an amp head, in front of a cab, whatever guitar you're going to use, the microphones, and you capture that entire chain. But STL has captured audio chains, not just of plugins, but of analog gear. So this plugin is emulating chains of gear that might be, an analog compressor into an analog EQ, back out into a plugin, into some other saturation plugin, and then back into maybe an SSL console and through a certain vintage EQ with, custom transformers in it. And then you get that entire chain of gear of the analog and the plugins in this ControlHub plugin. So like I said, this is unlike anything else. This isn't just another channel strip that emulates one thing and does one thing. This is a chain of gear, of plugins that people put together that they use every single day, that they know really well, and now it's in the ControlHub. Okay, so let's take a listen to what this sounds like. This entire song that I mixed is all using the ControlHub except for one. I used one de-esser plugin that isn't from STL. Okay, so let's take a listen to what this thing sounds like. Of course, I'll explain this plugin, but just take a listen right now. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little is all you need. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little is all you need. Definitely took a different route and went with like a more pretty sounding track just to show off, some of the capabilities, just some of the capabilities of this plugin. So first, let's start with just the guitar. Okay, so specifically with this guitar, I went with the pack Core Volume 1. Currently, there is 5 different packs. And right now for this guitar, we're using Core Volume 1. This is guitar acoustic picking. So for color, we're going through a Helios console. For compression, we got an 1176 and a Helios EQ on the master EQ. And then down here, I actually added this delay. So essentially what you can do is you pick from drums or bass or guitar, all of these different chains. And this is just for one of the packs. So you have all these different options. And then from here, what you can do is, further modify these chains. And of course, at first I was just putting this on all the individual instruments. And then, the mix bus, master bus thing came up, and then trying it out on all different buses and on the mix bus, the 2 bus, it's just, like I said, one video will never be enough to describe the flexibility and what you can do with this plugin. So to quickly break down this plugin, we have a nice frequency analyzer on the top. Here are the packs that you can get into of all the different sounds. We have a pre-EQ down here. We got a high and low filter. You got 3 different EQs, which are totally selectable in, whatever frequency range, and then the different curves. We got shelves, we got bells. And then we get into color, which is a preamp color now. Just this drive section with the tape and tube is really amazing. I mean, you can do so much with this, and it is so flexible. It sounds, as far as what I was putting it on, it seems like it kind of works on almost anything, which is surprising because it's not always like that. Compressor, we have a FET and VCA, and you actually get the knee too when you switch it to VCA. Also, we have a mix knob down here and side chain. Once again, just total flexibility. We get into the master EQ, which is very similar to the pre-EQ, but of course now this is post-compression and post-color. And we have the effects section, we have delay, and you can also engage the reverb. There's all sorts of different types of, look at all these different types of reverbs. Then you can select the type, whether it's small, medium, or large. You can get into the mix of it, pre-delay, the length. You can add modulation to this, high and low pass it. I mean, what more could you ask for? You got this whole limiter section. You can obviously adjust balance, and then you can adjust the mix of the entire plugin, which is really great because sometimes, maybe you love the sound of what it's going to do to a snare drum, but it's a little bit too much, and then you can just kind of back it off and kind of do this nice parallel blend. And then of course up top here, we got input and output controls. I mean, what else can you ask for? Okay, so let's get to something else. So that's guitar. Here is the kick drum. Now, for kick drum, I really like the Mark Lewis for drums. At least that's what I initially picked. And for these particular drum samples that I was using, really kind of like this. So let's take a listen to what just the kick drum sounds like. So with this, if we look up top here, our color is a console. So not a ton of details on what that exactly is. No compression. I added the compression to that. And then for the master EQ, we're using the Massenburg EQ. So that is what this particular chain is. So now on the snare drum. So once again, using the Mark Lewis, this is the snare clean and cracky. We got the color is the console, no compression. I added compression afterwards. And then the master EQ is the metric halo and the Massenburg, which is down here, and no effects. So let's take a listen what this sounds like. I mean, you can hear what it's doing. It's just adding this amazing life to the snare drum. And it adds that sizzle that just really, especially for this song, just really makes that snare just really crack and cut through that mix so well. I really, really love what that sounds like. So now we're on the hi-hats. Now, normally this isn't something that's that exciting, but on this particular one, I'm using the Artist Pack Machine. And for the color, we're into the Transformer color. No compression, but just some SSL EQ and Pro EQ. So just take a listen to what this sounds like. Now, of course, it really thins out the hi-hat, but with this track, it really makes that hi-hat fit in there, and it really kind of cuts out some of that stick sound and just kind of gives us a little bit more of that shimmer for that hi-hat. And so here is just the drums and guitar. Okay, so now let's skip over a few of these instruments. Let's go to the vocals because I really like what this did to the vocals that I've recorded literally sitting right here, and I just recorded over this track. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little is all you need. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little is all you. So once again, using the Machine Pack, and this is the vocal mid focus. So once again, we have the transformer for color, the Logic Studio FET compressor, and then we have the SSL EQ, a Pro EQ, and the Waves Factory Spectre. And then for effects, we have reverb and delay. So let's take a listen to what this sounds like in the song. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little is all you need. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little is all you I mean, to me, that just sounds so good. It really transformed this vocal. I'm not a singer, but it really does. It really helps get that mid-range out of that vocal, kind of nicely put it in the mix. And with that combination, which I would have never used before, that particular preset makes my voice, I think, sound really good. So the last thing is I used it on the mix bus, the 2 bus. Once again, transform the mix. So let's take a listen. The color is console, SSL bus compressor, Massenburg EQ, and the notes, we got these Hoff transformers. I own a Neumann summing card with these transformers in it. So I mean, what can you say about this? The options are endless. There are so many options. Each one of these packs has so many things to play with, so many different chains, so many options, and then you can tweak them, add mix into them. It's just, this is a plugin that you will actually have to sit down and go through everything, because it can truly change how you mix, because it forces you to try chains of gear that you probably never have used, never thought of using, or just wouldn't do because you don't have a particular piece of gear or plugin. I am super pumped, and I can honestly say that this, to me, is a game changer. So guys, of course, there will be links in the description box down below where you can check this out. So guys, as always, thank you very much for watching this video. Please leave comments, questions down below. I will get back to you guys on, exactly what this is, because this is a monster of a plugin. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Check out this new plugin from STL Tones. I'll see you guys in the next one.